All right, everyone, and welcome. And today I'll be showing you how to replicate Pierre Sage Arcelan's style of playing FM26. And under him, Arcelan's actually sets in up in a 3-4-3 in possession and a 5-2-3 out of possession that actually turned to a 5-4-1 out of possession in the low block. Okay, so his team tends to make use of a high intensity press which they use to win back the ball, and they make use of a man-to-man press as well, and which they use in unsettling the opposition and attack through the wide areas, which they make use of constant crossing, where they get more of their chances, and as well as making use of central overload both in and out of possession. The central overload in possession is just in order to outnumber or go man to man with the opposition in the central areas during attack, and out of possession it's in order for them to defend the central areas and divert the opposition attack to the wide areas, whereby they still set pressing trap for them there, where they win back the ball by making the opposition either go long or go backward. And that's that for that. So let's go straight to the tactics setup. But before we do that, please hit the like button, subscribe. I would really love it if you subscribe. And you can download these tactics in the description area. So let's go straight to it. So for mentality, we actually went with the balanced mentality. And in possession, like I said, Arcelans makes use of a 3 at the back, 2 in midfield, 2 wing backs, and 2 wingers that tend to play centrally or tend to be more central, and with 1 striker. So for your goalkeeper tends to, which is Riza, tends to play as a ball playing goalkeeper because he helps with ball build up phases and act as an extra passing option during build up phases. So for him, we'll go with the ball playing goalkeeper. And the reason we went for this is because RC Lens tends to make use of the eye line as well. So ball playing goalkeeper for in possession. Then for out of possession, in possession, let's do it this way. We'll just do it in possession. Okay, in possession, ball playing goalkeeper. Then for the back three, for the back three, one of them tends to play central and the other 2 on the wide areas, or act as wide center backs, both on the right and the left hand side. So we give them the wide center back role and ball playing role for Baidu in the central position. So these wide players actually tends to stretch or go wide in order to create extra body in the wide areas, and as well in the attack in the defensive area. But the reason why they don't actually help in attacking phases, they are more concentrated on the defensive aspect of the game. So that's just that. So wide center back for both the right and the left center back, and ball playing center back for the central defender. Then for the for the wing backs, we actually in the wide areas or the wide defenders went for the wing back role. Now for them to stretch your position, they actually stay wider and stretch your position, and most of the attack comes from the wide area because their duty is just to try to create chances through constant crossing as much as possible as they can get. Okay, so that's it. Both on the right and the left hand side, we went with the wing backs. Then for your numbers 2, number 6, one of them tends to play in a deeper role, so which is Sangara, who tends to play as a deep line. We'll give him the duty of a deep line playmaker because he tends to play a little bit deeper and it helps in ball progression and act as a link between the midfield and the defense. So on the left hand side, we have Thomasin. Thomasin tends to play a little bit higher, and he actually acts as a link between the midfield and the attack, and he actually tends to attack the final third as well because he will be giving the player instruction of forward runs. Okay, so that's just that. So for your 2 number 10 or your 2 wingers that play as number 10, we'll give them the player role of advanced playmaker, And the reason we give them is in order for them to act as link between the attack and the midfield. And also they actually drop a little bit deeper, or they drop deeper in order to create that central overload in the central areas and act as extra passing lane, or quick extra passing lane for their teammates. So that's just it. And as well as attack the final third as well. So that's just it. Then for your striker, we decided to go with the target forward. And target forward is just to use his physicality to win headers and link up play for his teammates. So that's just it. Which is Edward, who tends to play as a target forward. Okay, so that's that for that. And out of possession, we decided to go. Okay, yes, for out of possession, the team actually sets up in a 5 at the back, 2 in midfield, 2 in the central, there's attacking areas, and 1 striker. And the reason for this is in order to create that have bodies in the central area. And under Pierre Sage, RC Lance tends to focus more on the central areas and tend to push the opposition or create pressing trap in the wide areas in order to make the opposition either go back or they go long. And by doing that, they tend to lose the ball due to the man-to-man oriented style of play that RC Lens tends to employ, and their high intensity pressing as well. So that's just it. So let's go to player roles. And player roles, their goalkeeper tends to play as a sweeper keeper, and there are 2 center backs, or there are 3 center backs. The central one, which is Baidu, tends to play as a center back, traditional center back. Then Gradit and Sa tends to play as topping center backs. That's both on the right hand and the left hand side. Topping center back, in order for them to try to win the ball as high as possible, or step into midfield and win the ball, lose balls as high as possible on both the right and the left hand side. Then for your 2 fullbacks, they tend to play as a pressing fullback. And the reason for this is so that they can actually try to win the ball in the wide areas as high as possible as well. So that's just it. Then for your 2 number 6, we decide to go with DM, defensive midfielder, in order for them to protect the central areas as well. And for your 2 number 10, we decide to go with the tracking attacking midfielder. That is in order for them to help fall back and help create central overload in the central areas in order to push the opposition to the wide areas, whereby they can win the ball from there. And for your striker, we decided to go with the center forward in order for him to stay. He actually helps in the pressing, but he tends to focus more on counter attacks, but as well as helping actually pressing and defending as well. So that's it for that, for in and out of possession roles. So we'll go straight to individual player instruction. For individual player instruction, our goalkeeper, there's nothing to give to him. Our 3 center back, for Baidu, actually go with the trigger, out of position, trigger press, mark tighter, and tackle harder. Therefore, your wide center backs, both on the right and the left hand side, we decide to give them in possession, stay wider. That is in order for them to actually drift wide. And by drifting wide, the deep line playmaker, actually, that is Sangara, actually steps in doing build-up phase in order to make it look like a back 4. And doing ball progression, he actually steps away from the defense and actually helps in ball progression or move a little bit higher. So for in possession, the 2 wide center backs will be going with stay wider in order for them to as well as assist the wide areas and create that wide overload in the wide areas, whereby they can outnumber the opposition doing and quick extra passing lane. So for out of possession, we decided to go with the trigger press more often, mark tighter, and tackle harder for all your wide center backs. Then for your 2 number 6, Sangara, which is a deep line playmaker, we just go with the player instruction out of possession, trigger press more often, mark tighter, and tackle harder. Then for Thomasin in the left hand side, who is your box to box playmaker, in possession, we decided to give him forward runs, encourage, and trigger press more often, mark tighter, and tackle harder. That is for out of possession. So the reason why for the forward runs is in order for him to make those attack the half spaces and as well as the final third. because there'll be lots of crossing coming in. And by having constant crossing in, the Alcilians actually have more than maybe 4 people in the final tech trying to win headers to score and so have you. So that's just it. Or or shoot from second balls or loose balls. Okay, so that's just it. For your two number 10, we decided to go with freedom of movement in order for them to roam around and actually go to receive the ball in deep areas or wherever they feel the ball is free, and wherever they feel they have spaces in the central areas to actually create passing lane as well. So out of possession, we decided to go with the trigger press more often, mark tighter and tackle harder. That's for your two number 10. Then for your defender, your striker, decide to go with out of possession, trigger press, mark tighter and tackle harder. So that's just it for individual player instruction as well. So now we'll go to team visualizer. For in possession, you can see how during build up how the team looks like. Sorry about that. In possession, during build up in possessions, you can see how the team look like. You can see the deep line playmaker is a little bit withdrawn or deeper than your box to box midfielder. Then your 3 center backs, the wide center backs are actually wide, and just the back ball playing center back in the central position. But during this build up phase, this deep line playmaker actually falls back and actually makes the team look like a back four during build up and a little bit of ball progression. Okay, so for doing and you can see your 2 wide backs in the wide areas, wide and actually stretching the opposition. Then you can see your ball playing box to box midfield actually trying to push ahead, making look like a 4 in attack. Okay, so you can see how it looks like. So that's just it. For out of possession, during the high press, you can see how it looks like. It's a 5-2-3 shape, mid block 5-2-3 shape. But during the low block, you can see, like I said earlier, it looks like a 5-4-1. So that's just it. Okay, so that's that for that. And let's go to player instruction. In possession, the team tends to passing directness. They tend to actually make use of a direct style of play. So they can either go long or go short. So we decided to go with the standard passing style for the team to decide for themselves, depending on the situation. For tempo, we decided to go with IR because the team tends to move the ball really fast. Time wasting, we went for less often. Attacking transition, we went for counter attack. Attacking width, we went for narrow. And the reason we went for narrow is because we gave. Oh, sorry about that. I think actually for your wing backs, we actually went with player instruction attack. Stay wider for the wing backs. That's in possession, out of possession, trigger press, mark tight and tackle harder. And the reason we went for this is because of this team instruction of attacking with stay narrow. The reason I went for this attacking with stay narrow is in order to make the team closer to each other and make the team more compact after they have lost the ball. So that as they are close to each other, they can easily counter press and also close the gap in the central areas as well because they are close to each other. But the only difference is that in possession, your wing backs actually, because I gave them the player instruction of stay wider, they tend to actually stay wider and stretch the pitch. So that's just it. Or stretch the opposition in attack. So play for set piece. Actually, Alcilians actually has the highest number of set piece goals in the French top flight. So we went for play for set piece. Creative freedom went for more expressive. Build up strategy went for balance. The reason for balance is for the team to decide based on the situation, either to go long or to go short by bypassing in order to bypass opposition press or play through it. So for goal kicks went for shots. Goalkeeper distribution went to center backs. Supporting run went to balance. Dribbling balance. Progress through went for both flanks because Alcilians actually makes use of both flanks. Pass reception went for pass into space. And patience went for each early crosses. Like I said, they tend to make use of constant crosses. So we went for each early crosses. Shots from distance went for balance. Crossing style went for balance. Goalkeeper distribution went for distribute quickly. So for out of possession instruction, went for line of engagement, high press, because RC lines actually makes use of the high press. Defensive line went for much higher. Trigger press went for much more often. Defensive transition went for counter press. Tackling went for get stuck in because they're actually a very physical side. Cross engagement went for stop crosses, which they tend to do. Pressing trap went for trap outside. Shot goalkeeper distribution went for yes, to prevent the opposition goalkeeper from building from the back. Defensive line behavior went for step up more in order to reduce the space between our center backs and our midfield, thereby making the pitch actually the central areas actually compact. So that's for that. So now we'll be going to fixture list. So for the fixture area, we actually won our preseason, and in the league, out of 5 games we played, we actually won 3, kept 3 clean sheets, but lost against PSG. We won 4 of our league games, one against Lyon, this and Brest and Lille, but we lost against PSG. Against Lille, you can see the stats. We actually dominated them, XG wise and everything. Against PSG, which was horrific, but actually it's PSG. We lost as well. Then against Lille, it was actually a close game, but we had our XG was actually much better than them. We kept them at arm's length. Okay, so that's that. And thanks for sitting this through. Peace and love. And please don't forget to download. You can download the tactics in the description area. And please don't forget to hit the like button. But basically just subscribe, because by subscribing, you are pushing this channel further. And I will really, really, really love it if you subscribe. Thanks very much. See you in the next video. Peace.